I stand with J.K. Rowling. I have stickered I Heart J.K. Rowling. Uh, I went to The Hague a couple of years ago, or was it last year even? Geez, time just goes. To my own personal form of protest against Laurel Hubbard partaking in the women's weightlifting in the Olympics. I stand with J.K. Rowling now as well. Having read her books as a child when I was maybe 11, all the way up until I was 14, I think, maybe, or 13, 14, when the last books came out, or 12 even, I think I queued up in Eason's with one of my friends to get the last book. Or no, it was The Order of the Phoenix, I think, that we queued up for. Regardless, I absolutely stand with J.K. Rowling. I cannot believe that nobody has been on her side, has defended her, to say the abuse that she has received is absolutely not on. They're constantly excusing it, constantly diminishing it. I stand with her. I stand with her completely. Not only has she brought me pleasure with her books, but this is something that I get to share with my son now. These are books that my son is now reading in 2 languages. It's crumbling. It's completely crumbling, and I'm so glad this bullshit is crumbling. How can you have a children's charity that ignores any type of safeguarding? How can you have a children's charity that talks to children behind their parents' backs, offering to send them devices that will harm themselves, basically? I can't imagine any group. I don't understand why people can't watch Susie Green's TED Talk. She is the CEO of Mermaids, the children's charity. Look at her TED Talk. That is all the evidence you need to know that this charity is rotten to the core. This is a woman who took her son to a foreign country to have his genitals rearranged when he was 16. It is a practice which is now illegal in Thailand, the country that she took him to. These are not reasonable people to allow control over your children. They have affected policy. They have been in schools. They have been planting the idea of gender into people's heads. Even now, when I'm looking for any type of information online, it's anytime puberty is mentioned, it's your child might be experimenting with their gender. If that's the case, go and see a physician. It's why are we pathologizing children's behavior? Why are we pathologizing fashion? I don't get it. Anybody who is encouraging young girls to bind their breasts down, why is it illegal to bind feet? Why is it in African countries we what's the word I'm looking for? We disapprove. We take action against breast ironing, but if it's in the West and it's got the label of transgender on it, it's stunning and brave. It's absolute bullshit, and women are being harmed. Children are being harmed. Young boys are being harmed. Men are being harmed. Fetishes are out in public at the moment. Men are openly gaslighting their wives into calling them women. If you only have to look at Gabrielle Tuft, I think is his name, and Priscilla, his wife, to look at the horrible hostage situation that she's in at the moment with this man. Not just that, but people need to look into Martine Rothblatt. This man has colonized. This man is a billionaire. He's being championed as the highest paid female CEO. This guy is a billionaire, and he has colonized his own wife. The dynamic between him and his wife makes me very uncomfortable. The fact that she is a black woman as well, that makes me, I can't understand that dynamic between them. She's totally trapped. Jeez, my heart just goes out to her. It's just this man who's just like taken over her mind, basically, and he's trying to turn her into a robot. Look him up, Martin Rothblatt. Look up Susie Green. Look up Susie Green's TED Talk. Look at all the bullshit language, like, I have the brain of a girl, the mind of a girl, is what her son is saying. Like, the sexist stereotypes here are just unbelievable. And with Martin Rothblatt, I feel like there's an extra layer of race as well, and obviously misogyny and all the usual stuff. But I just wanted to say that I support J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling is an absolutely phenomenal woman. She has stuck to her guns on this, and I admire her greatly because of that. Because it's really fucking hard to stand up to a mob. It's really hard to listen to everybody around you be ideologically captured, and it's really hard to stand up and say, actually, I disagree. It's really hard to do that. And she stood up and she said, I disagree. I disagree. And here's the reason why I disagree. And people still fucking came for her. She has my full support. My full support, my full backing. And everybody else, every single one of the actors who worked on that film, whose careers were made because of her, they should be fucking ashamed of themselves. How dare they? How dare they just jump on a bandwagon like that? How dare they?